What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panthers Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, happy Tuesday to you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Hope everything's going smooth for you. This video is going to be a little bit quicker, because I got to get up out of the dough. But I love y'all. Hope y'all having a great Tuesday. And let's go ahead and get into it, because the first roster cuts have been made. And some of them we expected, some of them we didn't, but here are the roster cuts that have so far been made for the Carolina Panthers after yesterday. So at QB, both Jack Plummer and Bryce Perkins got released. We expected that. At running back, Amani Bailey and Karen Lynch-Adams were released. All right, not too shocked there. Not too shocked there by any means. Kobe Hudson, Jacoby George, and TJ Luther were released at the wide receiver spot. No shocks there. Dominique Daphne, we talked about that yesterday. He was released. On the offensive line, Steven Lasoya and Luke Handra were released. At outside linebacker, J.J. Weaver. Regular linebacker, inside linebacker, Jacoby Windman. I'm shocked Windman got released a little bit. But again, well, he's not even released. These are guys who are waived. Let me clarify that. All these people that I've named so far have been waived, not released. And I'll let you know the difference here in a second. Travis Broughton, he has been waived. Mello Dotson has been waived. Trey Swillen has been waived. Jack Henderson has been waived. And Isaac Gifford has been waived. Matthew Wright himself has been released. Which, I know we talked about it yesterday, and I'm still a little bit shocked, but I get the play there. And so on and so forth. And we'll talk about that more here in a second. But for those youngins who may not know, who are just getting in the NFL, you may want to know what's the difference between being waived and being released. All right, I'll be glad to show you. Here we go. So, waived. When they hit the waiver wire, this is where, when they hit the waiver wire, where the order is the previous year's draft order in terms of priority for players with fewer than 4 accrued seasons. So basically, they hit the waiver wire and you can wait them out, kind of like in fantasy. The player's available, and it's by priority. First person, if they want to pick them up, they can. Then the next person, so on and so forth. So Carolina can bring back waived players, usually for like practice squad, things of that nature. Released means they are straight up gone, and they can sign with anybody right now. There's no priority. They can go sign anywhere, anytime, and begin to play there immediately. So when we look back again at this list, so far, the only player who's been fully released was kicker Matthew Wright. Everybody else has been waived and could potentially be brought back for practice squad or anything of that nature. So we'll see how that goes, so on and so forth. And I think most of these moves, honestly, we kind of anticipated as a unit. We knew some of these moves were going to be made. And I expect, because 18 more moves need to be made to get to the final 53. And that's going to be interesting. Personally, I wish the NFL did like a 75-man roster. I think that'd be cool. But 53, I guess that's just the number they came up with. I would be cool with a 75-man. That way you have more players available and you can really utilize them and really mix and match on what you're trying to do and what packages you can scheme for. But I may one day look into why it's only 53. I might look into that one day. But neither here nor there. Next, and like I said, speaking of the kicking competition with Matthew Wright and Ryan Fitzgerald seemingly being the starter, apparently Coach Canales ain't too sold, or he's not convinced that the competition's over. Nani? And here's what he means. So, on the Charlotte Observer, here's what Coach Canales had in regards to kickers. And again, Canales, he said this. He's like, I feel very confident in both guys, but I also know there are good kickers out there. But just like every other position, I think we start with the information we have, and then we got to look at the whole thing, just like we're going to do with every other position. We got to look at who's all out there and how do they stack up in terms of accuracy in the kicking game, field goals, and PATs, and also what guys can bring to us in the kickoff setting. and all that. So that's going to be part of these conversations coming up. And the reason why Dan Morgan's up here too is because, Dan's going to make some wild moves. He's going to look at some wild things that may be unconventional, but hey, Carolina may be onto something there. And apparently one person they might be looking at is Boswell, who is supposed to be getting released from Pittsburgh or has already been released from Pittsburgh. So, Ryan Fitzgerald, you may not be out of the woods just yet. I would definitely keep that in mind going forward. And who's to say that Wright doesn't just re-sign as a practice squad player, even though he's been fully released, and then still somehow take Fitzgerald's spot. But I get why they went with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is the rookie. Fitzgerald did nail a 53-yarder. Even though he didn't have a better camp, you're banking on him getting better in the long run. And he's the cheaper, better option for the long term, if we're being honest. He is the cheaper and better option in the long term. No ifs, ands, or questions about that. So I get why they're going in that direction. And I have no quarrels about it when that's the thought process. And thirdly, the ripple effect due to Trey Hendrickson's contract. So, many of you may have already seen or know that Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals have finally come to an agreement, and it bumps his salary up to $30 million for this season, right? Here's the thing. Trey Hendrickson is still set to become a free agent after this year. So, with that in mind, and I would have to go back and look specifically at the number. But the first ripple effect that comes off to my head is that takes away the 3-team trade idea I proposed about a week ago or so. To me, that takes that off the table because you're signing him up for this season. And any team, to me, that's going to take Trey Hendrickson on a 1-year deal, granted, Trey Hendrickson is great. He's phenomenal. But you're taking him for a 1-year deal and then may not be able to re-sign him because he's going to want to go somewhere else next offseason. That's a risky move. That's a risky move, and I could be talking crazy. I could be like blowing smoke out of my ears, something of that nature. But to me, it's risky to make a trade for Trey Hendrickson knowing he's on a 1-year deal and knowing in order for you to keep him, you're going to have to sign him. Unless you are that confident that you are a Super Bowl contending team and he is the one piece to get you over the hump. If that's the case, cool. Carolina's not in that boat. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be honest, we are not a Super Bowl contending team right now from what I see. We can make the playoffs. But would I say we are a guaranteed Super Bowl contender? No. Like I'm just because we're all potential. We are a potential-led team. We could potentially be great. We could potentially be bad. We could potentially be up there with the top dogs. We could potentially be at the bottom. We are a very fluctuating team if we're being honest and realistic about the situation. I'm an optimistic realist in the sense that I think we are closer to the top dogs than we are the bottom of the barrel. That's just me. But overall, it doesn't make sense to get Trey Hendrickson on a 1-year deal this year. Now, next offseason, and again, I would have to look at the salary cap because I don't know it off the top of my head right now. But next offseason, depending on how much money is available and depending on how you can spread that out, and depending on who you pay, and it could be possible to sign Trey Hendrickson to like a 3-year, 2-year deal. That's definitely out there in the ether. But right now, Trey Hendrickson, that 3-team trade idea to get Adam Thielen to Minnesota, I think that comes off the table. I think that makes the Minnesota trade for Thielen a little bit harder. And I have heard that Carolina is like trying to take no lower than a 3rd-round pick for Thielen. So shout out to Dan Morgan and them being like, yeah, nah, if you want Thielen, you going to come up off some stuff for him. So I feel like that plays a whole hand into everything that's going on, man. And then before we get into y'all favorite subject, we're going to sit there and look at the Panthers free frame of the day. And I want to say this might have been the kick that solidified Ryan Fitzgerald as the starter. So, Ryan Fitzgerald, if you are the starter, hey, here's the kick that made you a starter, my boy. I'm going to say this is the one that solidified you, proved that you could do your thing and do what you do. But now, it is time for Panther Nation to speak your truth, baby. And we're going to go into the first comment. It comes from JMad4823. My man says, I'm not with trading Thielen. Vikings didn't want him 2-3 years ago. I do feel like he would retire a Viking, though. If they're looking for a vet wide receiver, they can have more for that 4th-round pick. Adam has been and will continue to be a big part of Young's growth. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, no lie there. Again, I'm not on the trade Adam Thielen train, per se. I've told y'all this multiple times. But if the deal is good, if the deal is great, business is business. Business is business. But again, if in my heart of hearts, I do not want to trade Adam Thielen. This one comes from Gavin Van Note. My boy Gavin says, how did Jamar Bartholomew make the roster? What is this blasphemy? I don't know. I honestly, listen, Gavin, I don't know, bro. I'm hoping I see his name on that released part of the waiver today. I hope I see released, not waived. I want to see released. Like, as of today. That's what I want to see. And then the last one comes from Levi3808 says, nice shirts, and you are right. The big boys don't get enough love. I'm saying, Levi, I don't think they get enough love. I really don't. And for those of you who don't know, may not have watched yesterday's episode, so I have created these shirts in regards for the big boys because earlier in the offseason, one of the linemen said, hey, yo, we're like the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I came up with this, Guardians of the Carolinas. What I'm going to do also is put volume 2025 because, you know, for the sequels, they have like volume in the bottom right. I'm going to add that as well and I'm going to retool it and retouch it up, see how it looks and whatnot. But these are the shirts. Hope y'all like them. A lot of y'all actually say you like them. A lot of you have said you would like them, you would buy it, so on and so forth. So if that's the case, bro, I'm going to try and get the prototypes out. And when I do get the prototypes out, I'm going to rock them on here. See how y'all think they look. And if y'all are really rocking with them, I'll open up a store, sell them to y'all, and we can get it cracking. Probably send y'all personal notes or just like signed messages saying thank you for the support and love and everything on this channel. But guys, with all that being said, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom. That way you are always notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know, what were your thoughts on the first roster cuts? Whose name do you expect to see today? And for the second day and the final roster cuts, because the rosters do have to be down to 53 by 4 p.m. 2, do you think Ryan Fitzgerald deserved to win the kicking battle, or do you think his position is still up in the air and somebody could be brought in to take it? And 3, how do you feel about the ripple effect of Trey Hendrickson's contract? Do you think Carolina should go out to sign him next offseason when he is a free agent, or so on and so forth? And also, some of you have already done it, but if you enjoyed the shirts, let me know which shirt you'd like and in the comment section, and which color. Let me know which shirt you like and what the size is and if you rock it or not. And I am coming up with some other ideas as well already in my head. So be on the lookout for that, guys, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all of you. Take care. Later days, Panther Nation. As always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.